Sad news out of the entertainment world. We just got word that Gil Gerard has died at the age of 82. He was an Arkansas actor who turned into a big TV star. You may remember him as Buck Rogers from the hit sci-fi show that aired in the 1970s and 1980s. Gil Gerard was born in Little Rock. We're told that he died from an aggressive form of cancer and that he was in hospice care. Rest in peace.
Oh, so they're saying an aggressive form of cancer now. That's the first time I watched that video. An aggressive form of cancer. So this is before my time. This show right here, Gil Gerard, who played this character, and we see cancer right there. So if I remember, we're gonna come back and we'll come back and look at that. Okay, but he played in this show. Look, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Look at that. That's interesting because we're in the year 25 right now. So Buck Rogers in the 25th century is the show. And the 25th century actually begins on January 1st, 2401. But that's interesting that we get that 25 and we're in the year 25. This was a popular sci-fi TV series. I guess it was from 79 to 81, 1979 to 1981. And again, about a 20th century astronaut, Buck Rogers, who was accidentally frozen for 500 years and wakes up in a futuristic Earth to become a space adventurer, defending his planet from threats like alien draconians alongside allies like Colonel Wilma Deering and the robot Tweaky or Twicky. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Blending adventure, humor, and disco era futuristic aesthetics. So that's interesting. And there's probably a lot of symbolism going on right now with that. There's probably some symbolism. They say his character in this series, charming, relatable as well. Oops. Let me fix that, I guess. Try to fix that. I don't know. I try to be like a perfectionist. But are you serious? He dies at 82. Look at this. Look at that. He dies at 82 and Rogers equals 82. I mean, come on, man. You know what happens? Look at the birthday, 12/16. 12 plus 16 is 28. Gil equals 28. And that's the 82 reversed. You can call me like I'm like a number guy. I'm like a pattern guy. I'm like a decoding guy. This is what I do. Like, so you're not going to get a lot of entertainment out of what I do. I'm not a character putting on a show, but I'm going to give you these interesting connections with these characters on the world stage. I mean, dude dies at 82 and he plays Buck Rogers and Rogers equals 82. Come on. And then his real first name, Gil, with the 28. And then he dies 28, 12 month, December 16th day, 28. Come on. Buck Rogers in the 25th century, which is 2401, the start date, and he dies in the year 2025. So if you're listening, you're going to have to look at your screen right now. He dies on the 350th day of the year, which is like 35. Rogers and Gerard equal 35. He dies on a 53 numerology, same numbers reversed. Look at those 37s. Rogers, Buck, and Gerard equal 37. He also dies on a 37 date numerology and 73. Oh, we just found out he died of cancer. Look, cancer equals 73. You see that? Or 37. Excuse me. Look. Wow. So we just find that out. I think in our article it says, uh, oh, yeah, they did say cancer in the article. Okay. So, yeah, they say an aggressive form of cancer. Check that out. An aggressive form of cancer. And cancer's got that 37. Look at that. And I already had this slide in here with all the 37s. You see that? I can get a story and decode it without even going through the article. I can just look at the title, look up the character online, and put all this together. So I get all these 37s, and I miss that he died of cancer, and cancer equals 37. They may have updated the article, actually, possibly too. Sometimes they won't say how they died, and then they might update it. Anyways, either way, look at that. So he dies 38 days before his next birthday, which is right around the corner, January 23rd. I guess it's not right around the corner, but he dies 5 weeks. That's the same as 5 weeks, 3 days. You see that? He dies 5 weeks, 3 days before his birthday. So you get that 3553 with his birthday and his death date. Now he's Captain William Buck Rogers. That's how they put it right there. 109, like his last name Gerard. Okay, there's 4 base ciphers that convert these letters and these words into numbers, and it's 4 basic code ciphers, right? This is a code with the alphabet. It's like a lottery system, and then it's insert character here by the numbers. That's what I think. And if they're really dying off by this code, like really, that it's interesting no matter what. Or if they're not dying off and they're just giving us a story. You know what I'm saying? But excuse the dog in the background. Okay, is the dog good? I think the dog's good. So notice how I have Captain highlighted right there. This story hit right after I got done doing this story, which was an off-duty fire captain. Saves 2 people in Prescott house fire. I get done doing that, and then I'm like, okay, on to the next. And then we get another captain with Captain William Buck Rogers. I ain't gonna lie, I think there was another story with like a captain or something as well. I just can't remember. There's a lot going on, right? So as a decoder too, I also show you how these stories connect to other stories on the world stage, right? Because these patterns, they hit all across the world stage in the news, and then they always connect by the language and by the numbers. And again, we get captain right after another captain story. Now notice the name Rogers of this character, this astronaut or whatever, Buck Rogers. What was it? And the 25th century or whatever it was called. Aliens and stuff, and there may be like symbolism to what they're trying to expose in the world right now. They'll tell us in like movies and like the Simpsons and stuff like that, right? They'll kind of put out truths about how the world's going to be or whatever, or maybe something we're going through but they're not talking about, but they're telling us but they're not telling us, you know what I mean? So notice the name Rogers right there, kind of like Aaron Rodgers, whose birthday was what, a couple of weeks ago. Okay, Aaron Rodgers. Notice Rob Reiner, who died 12 days after Aaron Rodgers' birthday. And Rodgers had that 12 on his jersey in Green Bay. Remember? With that 12th month birthday. But look at R. Rodgers, R. Rob Reiner. You know? And then now we get another Rodgers just minus the D. Right? So we get all these R's here. You know, he dies right after Aaron Rodgers' birthday. And notice how Rodgers was born in 83, Aaron. And Gil Gerard died 38 days after his birthday, which is the reverse right there. Right? This is a trending story. Susie Wiles. I'm not even 100% sure how to pronounce the name, but I've been seeing it popping up in my algorithm trying to get me to talk about it. Well, now I am. I mean, not by choice, but I have to show how it connects to this Gil Gerard story, who was Buck Rogers. Because look, Susie Wiles, her father was Pat Summerall. Okay? And she's trending for some Trump stuff, it looks like. It looks like she's going to work for Donald Trump or something. But look, she's the father of Pat Summerall and Joe Buck. You see this? Joe Buck succeeded Summerall as the number one NFL play-by-play voice, becoming the new voice of the NFL. And his name's Joe Buck, connected to Summerall, connected to Susie Wiles, who's trending. So you get that connection with Joe Buck. And now the guy who plays Buck Rogers dies. Pat Summerall, connected to his daughter here, who's trending. Look, one day ago. You see that? Isn't that interesting right there? Right? Buck Rogers. Aaron Rodgers. So that's amazing, right? So you get all of this, you get these puzzle pieces that I'm putting together here. And I guess more on a lighter note, look at Gil Gerard equals 162 in the reverse cipher right there. General Hospital equals 162. We just had the death of Anthony Geary. See? So, come on, General Hospital. We're going to get that story by the numbers. Gil Gerard. Look, they both got the G. See? I'm telling you, General GE, Gerard GE, Gil's got the G. You see how that works? And you get the number connection, stories hitting at the same time. All of these deaths, and there's another death that just popped up that I got to cover. I mean, look at that, man. This is the language. Okay? You know, unfortunately for the characters, but they are just characters on the world stage. Hey, this stuff could happen to us. You know what I'm saying? This stuff could happen to us. There's a lot of meticulous things that are just put in front of us in our life, and we just roll with it, right? I'm telling you, start paying attention. It doesn't mean you're a celebrity or you're an anybody or you're a nobody or whatever. It doesn't matter. This is a fake world we live in. You know, I don't know if I even mentioned, oh yeah, I did. Geary, G. Gil Gerard, G. General Hospital, G. Another G. Even the hockey decode had the same numbers, 126. Oh, and Gil Gerard, or excuse me, Anthony Gary, General Hospital. Um, he played the hell was his character? Luke something. Anyways, even his next birthday left 216 days in the year. Leaves 216 days in the year. 216, 162. The hockey decode, we got the same numbers, but just shuffled up. Macklin, Celebrini, fastest San Jose Shark to 50 points in a season. Macklin, 126. He's connected to Wayne Gretzky with the 126 birthday. That birthday's coming up. And you know what's amazing? Gil Gerard's got the 123 birthday 3 days prior. I just caught that on the fly. Look, he's got the 123 birthday 3 days before Wayne Gretzky. So look at how that works. And, I'm going to tell you right now that there's Kobe Bryant energy that's around, and that's the Kobe Bryant death date anniversary, 126. And I just saw something in the news that's, I can already tell, is connected to Kobe Bryant with his death that's right around the corner. So, oh, and as I say that, we get the 81 right here with Gil Gerard. Because Kobe Bean Bryant equals 81 in the language. Bean, B like Buck. Okay. And Kobe scored 81 points in a game. So right after I mentioned that, wow. Gerard 81. This show was from 79 to 81. It looks like was the last year it was on. Whose roles include that of Captain William Buck Rogers in the 1979-1981 TV series. Don't forget the 25th century piece. Like the year 25, you get the 25, right? So, damn. And there's going to be a lot here. I'm just not catching it besides what I'm presenting. There's even a Bucks team in the NBA to kind of connect with the Kobe thing there. And then that Joe Buck thing connected with Rogers as well in football, right? Man. And football equals 83 also, huh? Rogers born in 83, and then Gil Gerard dies 38 days after his birthday. Pretty sure football equals 83. I always forget to bring it up, though. Yeah, football's got the 83. Football's got that 83. So remember, this guy died of cancer. We connected that 37 already. There may be some other numbers there as well. Amazing. Okay, see that? Bam.
Gil Gerard, best known as Captain William Buck Rogers in the 1979 to 1981 TV series Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, passed away on December 16, 2025, at the age of 82.
Wow, that's his 83rd year of life. He died in his 83rd year of life. On top of that, man. Okay, so here's just some of the other tabs that I was reading off of. You see his character, charming, relatable, right there. Okay. And boom. So is this seems to have like kind of like a Star Wars theme, huh? Possibly, huh? See Star Wars right there. Right. So again, a sci-fi TV series about a 20th century astronaut, Buck Rogers, accidentally frozen for 500 years and wakes up in a futuristic Earth to become a space adventurer. See, there's that tab right there. And then you can see right there, January 1st, 2401. The 25th century begins, going through the end of that. The end of 2500, December 31st. Right there. Okay, so we're coming up on January 1st also, huh? Which is interesting. Is that interesting? I think that's interesting. How we're coming up on these dates right here. So that's kind of interesting as well. And there's that born in Little Rock, Arkansas, Gil Gerard with the 123 birthday again right there. Okay, so, I mean, that was solid. Again, he dies of cancer. And they're going to go over... Look at this right here. Here's another 28. Remember, he died at 82. Look at that right there. And he died 12/16. 12 plus 16 is 28. Look at that. Whatever they're speaking of here, the story was based on Philip Francis Nolan's serialized 1928 pulp novella Armageddon 2419. I'm guessing they're talking about the Buck Rogers show. I'm assuming. But look, you get that 28 right there. You see that? And they say the show was based off of that or whatever. Whatever they're talking about there. And remember, that was the first thing we hit. Gil equals 28. Dead 12/16. Added up 28. Rogers equals 82. Dead at age 82. You see that? So immediately when we look into the article, you see that right there? That's how it is all the time. I mean, if you read this article, you could probably come up with like 5 other hits. Okay? And they're just going over all the stuff he did, blah, 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 blah. And then the article ends, okay? So they're saying an aggressive form of cancer for this character. And look at this right here, man. Oh my God. Look, Cancer's got the 44 like Captain Buck Rogers. Cancer's got 26 like Buck, Gerard, and Cancer all got that 37. You see that right there? You can't deny that stuff, right? You just can't deny it, man. Absolutely can't deny it. Buck Rogers star, Gil Gerard, dies at age 82, man. An aggressive form of cancer. Okay, the stuff it's a script, man. The world is fake. I'm not saying people don't die. There's nothing organic that happens in the world. It's not what I'm saying, man. This code is fake. This world is fake. This language, this stuff is all fake, man. This is like, it's magic. Until next time.